Is it because I'm black?
Is it because I'm in a civil partnership?
Is it because I'm a female?
Is it because I'm too young?
Is it because I'm disabled? Is it because I was born once as a woman?
Is it because I'm gay?
Is it because of my religion?
Is it because I'm pregnant?
Is it because? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Fumi,
And I'm Liberatus.
and this is Team Achieve, and I'm sure you got our text messages. Our presentation is called Aim at Achieve.
Aimed at diversity.
Diversity, sorry.
So that's A for anonymous applications, I for innovation and diversity month, M for mystery intern, E for exit interviews, and D for diversity training.
Does anyone think anonymous applications is a good idea? Raise your hand. Okay, great. Anonymous applications are attractive because they do not disclose those 9 diversity strands. Therefore, it's focusing on the candidate's skills and experiences. And there is a problem with organizational fits, which is the employer just picking people because they see them fit for the role rather than them actually having the skills. Therefore, it's not inclusive or diverse.
So which types of discrimination might you encounter at the application stage?
Well, my name is Fumilayo Modupe Bosayo Ajibodun, and most employers can't say my name. Therefore, if I go against Matt Smith, whose name isn't as complicated, he doesn't make the employer feel uncomfortable like I do. I may be at an advantage because of that. And did you know that in a Canadian study, 35% of English-sounding names are likely to get a call back? Should I be ashamed of putting my name on an application form?
No, you should not. But how does this measure attract and retain diverse talent?
Level playing field. Like Kurt Barlin said, if you have a level playing field and a fair judge, you can succeed. So we can attract people by taking away those unconscious biases, and people who want promotion don't have to hit the glass ceiling because it's anonymous, and therefore they can expand their experiences and their skills.
So once we've attracted them into the business, how are we going to develop their skills?
Innovation and Diversity Month. Diversity is change, it's transformation and variety, and innovation is something new. Innovation and diversity, bringing them together would equal a varied and diverse experience for the employee. This initiative brings 2 different departments together, engaging with each other, learning from each other through insight sessions, and also collaborative projects to involve each other with their skills and the ideas that they can learn from each other.
That reminds me of that Ben Franklin quote.
Yes. Tell me, and I forget. Teach me, and I may remember.
Involve me,
and I learn.
And that's why it's so important to reinforce learning on the job and diverse skill sets to attract employees to indulge in different experiences. And this would eliminate sector stereotyping. And as Pamela Hutchinson said, diversity is no longer limited to black and white. It involves diverse skill sets. So this measure would attract employees who feel trapped by their sector. I'm in education. I want to know about consulting. And our mentor had a colleague who was in engineering, and she wanted to progress to financial services, but she was told that engineering is for slow people and that engineering is traditional. However, 6 months later, she was able to progress into the financial industry, and this scheme could possibly accelerate that. And an interesting quote from Holmes Jr. says, "A mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions." So once this measure is implemented, employees will be stretched through their experiences and attracted to new pathways in the workforce. And is there a way for these diverse policies to be upheld?
Well, I'm sure we're all familiar with the concept of a mystery shopper. So we propose the concept of a mystery intern, included in the intern class, rotating around departments, monitoring diversity policies in action, assessing teams and individuals, senior individuals, in that regard and seeing how they perform.
And how will we measure this?
I'm glad you asked that for me. This is a wallet, for those of you that do not know. Reported results will influence bonuses and promotion paths. That is what people care about. It's all good and well saying, I'm for diversity. Everybody can say that. But how about if you're not for diversity, you won't get that promotion. You won't get that bonus. How about that? That's when people will truly start to change the way that they behave. And seeing as it's a mystery, they have to behave that way at all times. Otherwise, it just won't happen for them. Well, as I've already mentioned, good performance will be rewarded, and negative performance will hinder your progress through that organization. By publicizing the results that we find from the mystery interns on the firm's website or potentially through some sort of circular message, people who would like to apply to our organization will know that this is an organization committed to diversity and safeguarding diversity. They can compare this if it's year on year, meaning that we will be held accountable for the things that we do. Also, staff that are already in the firm will see that we have a commitment to internal attitudes and will be encouraged to remain part of our organization. Now, please, audience, could you raise your hand if you've ever felt uncomfortable in the workplace, but didn't mention it because you're afraid of upsetting the status quo? Thank you. So to this, we propose exit interviews. Exit interviews, meaning that staff on their departure from the organization will voice their opinion and will give us vital information on how diversity is operated within the workforce of that particular organization.
And why would we wait till they leave?
Well, from my own experience, and as we've seen from some of the hands that have been put up, people do not feel comfortable mentioning something when they're still part of the organization. But hopefully, when they're on the way out the door, they may feel more comfortable. When they're on their way out, they may feel more comfortable and forthcoming in providing this information. Again, if we feel that we can publicize this data and put it on our website, people who are not yet part of our firm will hopefully feel that this is a firm that does care about diversity. This is a place that I want to work in. So, this is going to be, this measure could potentially work in with the Tuckman model, which talks about progressing. That's normally when a team comes to the end of a project and somebody potentially may make the decision to leave. Well, if somebody's making the decision to leave the organization, an organization is essentially really just a big team. So we're going to use we're going to use the information that we've gathered from those interviews and help us to progress with feedback upon exit. So, as other people in this room may have unfortunately experienced, when I was in high school, I was stopped and searched numerous times. These negative experiences have meant that somebody like me, who does care about society, has never felt the desire to work in the police force, something which is there to essentially protect society. Why is that? Because either that I feel uncomfortable in doing that. However, through diversity in training, which is our fifth measure, we will propose that we could change and bring some diversity and aspiration. This diversity training would affect the talent pipeline. So through talks by people such as in the Powerless, we've had numerous speakers here coming to tell us very good things that will hopefully progress us as leaders in the future. Also, by bringing students into places that they may not naturally gravitate towards. So that might be people with physical disabilities going into places which are manually intensive labor, where they may not feel that that is a place for them. Or as I mentioned already, black people going into policing, getting an insight and getting training from people that are already there. So hopefully this would then feed back to the home and we can have some intergenerational aspiration change.
And what about the workforce?
Well, we believe that the workforce has to undergo some training as well. This would be targeted at senior levels. So if we're to carry on the example of the police, we would be targeting senior officers, police commissioners. This leadership buy-in means that hopefully we would have a spread through the organization. Our belief in diversity training is underpinned by belief that diversity isn't the difference between groups, but the difference between individuals. This training in diversity would reveal the unique selling points of employees. Hopefully that would allow us to better navigate through the storming period, which was also part of the Tuckman model. As seeing if people are able to recognize the differences between people in their team and value them as unique selling points instead of problems, then hopefully we could have a faster progression.
Okay, thank you. And to conclude, we'd like to reiterate our aim. So A, anonymous applications. I, innovation and diversity month. M, the mystery intern. E, exit interviews. And D, diversity diversity training.
So on behalf of Team Achieve, I would like to thank Deloitte, the Powerless Foundation, the whole audience. All the other mentors, the speakers, and our very own mentor, Yvonne Thompson. And now I'll invite our teammate Shegan to come and wrap it up for us.
Thanks very much. Now, see, the term diversity is quite broad. We literally had to go back to the drawing board. Collaborated with our diverse minds, and this is what we had in store. Is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm a woman? Is it because of my religion? See, our measures are simply a strong vision of where we think the workforce can go if they actually followed it as if it was a mission. Now, this mission is not impossible. This mission is not impossible, by the way. It's possible. Now, I'm going to quote a quote. By Carson Presley. It says, it's really important to share the idea that being different might feel like a problem at the time, but ultimately, diversity is a strength.
Okay, for the final time of asking, we will hand over to our panel of judges for a couple of brief questions to Team 6.
I've got one question on behalf of all the judges, I think. We want to know what the text message is.
Can someone read it out for them?
Team Achieve says, are you aimed at diversity?
My other question is, I was very interested in the mystery intern one. I thought that was really innovative. And the idea that you then tie things into bonus and your wallet at the end of the day if you're not showing your own diverse capability in the workforce. How would you actually do that?
It's not actually about showing diverse talent, it's about showing how you're appreciative of other people's diversity.
Yeah, I know, so how are you going to do it? Because you had on your slide that, and you showed your wallet, and it looked like it was quite full. How are you going to tie in, you mentioned bonus and pay in relation to diversity. What exactly do you mean?
So, well, as every single business would do, they normally go through review periods where people either do get a bonus or you don't get a bonus. So that would be one of the criteria. So it's not only, oh, did you perform, did you add value? It's, did you adhere to the diversity policies of the firm? And if you don't, unfortunately, then you're not going to be getting your bonus, or you may be overlooked for a promotion because, oh, we need people in the leadership, but if they're not promoting the principle of diversity, which is one thing the firm feels is important, then you can't join our leadership because we don't want you representing the firm at that sort of level.
Okay, I'm going to draw it to a close, and I just want to say, firstly, thank you, I'm sure, on behalf of our judges and the rest of the Powers Project team to the fantastic effort that